Russia just announced their MiG-41 fighter will fly at Mach 5, destroy satellites in space, and enter service by 2025. But I discovered something that changes everything about this story, and by the end of this video, you'll know why this might be the biggest military deception of the decade. Let me show you exactly what Russia is claiming. According to official statements from the VKS, their 6th generation MiG-41 will cruise at Mach 3 and potentially reach Mach 5. We're talking about a fighter jet that supposedly operates in near space, shoots down satellites, and makes every Western aircraft obsolete. Here's where it gets interesting. They're saying this technological marvel will take to the skies by 2025. That's right, we're talking about a timeline of months, not decades. But wait, there's more. This isn't just any fighter jet. Russia claims it's equipped with anti-satellite capabilities, stealth technology that surpasses anything the West has built, and here's my favorite part, laser weapons. Now, when I first heard these claims, something didn't add up. So I started digging deeper, and what I found will shock you. The United States has been working on their 6th generation NGAD program for over a decade, with a budget that dwarfs most countries' entire defense spending. Yet Russia claims they can leapfrog all of this with their MiG-41 in just 2 years. Here's what really caught my attention, and this is crucial. Current intelligence reports suggest the MiG-41 is still in the conceptual stage. Conceptual. That means it exists primarily in PowerPoint presentations and press releases. But here's the retention bomb I promised you. There's a document I found that reveals the real reason behind these impossible claims, and it has nothing to do with actually building this aircraft. I'll show you exactly what I mean in just a few minutes. First, let me show you why the physics alone make this entire project impossible. Traditional jet engines cannot function at hypersonic speeds, period. This isn't opinion, it's physics. When an aircraft moves at Mach 5, the air temperature around it reaches over 1,000 degrees Celsius. The materials needed to withstand these extreme aerothermal environments simply don't exist in Russia's current industrial capacity. Let me put this in perspective. NASA spent decades developing heat-resistant materials for the space shuttle, and that was just for re-entry, a one-time event. Russia is claiming they can build an aircraft that operates in these conditions repeatedly, reliably, and somehow maintains stealth capabilities while doing it. But here's what's really interesting. Do you know what happens to metal at these temperatures? It doesn't just heat up, it fundamentally changes its molecular structure. The titanium alloys that Russia has access to become structurally compromised at hypersonic speeds. You're essentially flying an aircraft that's slowly disintegrating around you. And then there's the engine problem. Russia's most advanced engine technology comes from the Su-57 program. These engines max out at about Mach 2.2. To reach Mach 5, you need scramjet technology, something the United States has been struggling to perfect for 20 years with unlimited budgets and access to the world's best materials. Russia claims they've not only solved this problem, but done it quietly, efficiently, and cheaply. Does that sound plausible to you? Here's where it gets even more absurd. The MiG-41 is supposed to have anti-satellite capabilities. This means it needs to operate at altitudes where the air is so thin that conventional control surfaces become useless. You're essentially flying a rocket at that point, not an aircraft. The engineering challenges multiply exponentially. Every system needs to be redesigned. Life support, navigation, weapons systems, everything. But wait until you see what Russia's actual industrial capacity looks like right now. That's coming up next. And it's going to change everything you think you know about this program. Sanctions have crushed Russia's military-industrial complex in ways that aren't immediately obvious from the outside. Russia is spending 40% of their federal budget on defense in 2025. That's $172 billion. Sounds impressive, right? Here's what they're not telling you. Most of this money is going toward the current conflict, not future research and development. But here's the real kicker. Putin's defense budget is reportedly facing cuts even at this massive spending level. Let me show you what this means for advanced aircraft development. The Su-57, Russia's current 5th generation fighter, was supposed to enter mass production years ago. How many have they actually built? Less than 20 operational aircraft. Compare that to the F-35 program, which has delivered over 900 aircraft. Now ask yourself, if Russia can't mass produce their current generation fighter, how exactly are they going to build something exponentially more complex? Sanctions have specifically targeted Russia's access to advanced semiconductors, precision manufacturing equipment, and specialty materials. These aren't just economic pressures, they're technological bottlenecks that make advanced aerospace development nearly impossible. Here's something most people don't realize. Modern fighter jets require components from dozens of countries. Even the United States, with the world's most advanced defense industry, relies on international supply chains for critical materials. Russia is increasingly isolated from these supply chains. They're trying to source everything domestically or through allied countries like China and Iran. But neither China nor Iran has the technology base to support hypersonic aircraft development. And here's where that document I mentioned earlier becomes crucial. Internal reports suggest that Russian aerospace engineers know these timelines are impossible. The MiG-41 project is being pushed not by technical feasibility, but by political necessity. But why would Russia announce an impossible project? What do they gain from making claims they know they can't fulfill? The answer reveals a sophisticated propaganda strategy that goes far deeper than just military posturing. And once you understand it, everything about the MiG-41 makes perfect sense. Russia has a documented history of announcing revolutionary weapon systems that either never materialize or arrive years behind schedule with significantly reduced capabilities. The T-14 Armata tank was supposed to revolutionize ground warfare. After years of parade demonstrations and bold claims, fewer than 100 have been produced, and none have seen combat deployment in their current conflict. The Kinjal hypersonic missile was marketed as unstoppable. Analysis suggests it's essentially a modified ballistic missile. Impressive, but hardly the game changer Russia claimed. See the pattern? Big announcements, limited delivery, maximum propaganda value. But here's what's brilliant about this strategy. It works even when the weapons don't exist. Western intelligence agencies must assume these threats are real. Defense budgets get allocated to counter weapons that may never be built. Military planners spend years developing countermeasures to threats that exist only in press releases. And that brings us to the real purpose of the MiG-41 program. This isn't about building an aircraft. It's about something much more sophisticated. The MiG-41 is a Potemkin fighter, an impressive facade hiding the reality of Russia's declining aerospace capabilities. Military experts assess it might never fly, and current evidence suggests it may never leave the drawing board. The technological leaps required, combined with Russia's industrial constraints and budget realities, make the announced timeline impossible. But here's the genius of this strategy. It doesn't matter if the MiG-41 never flies. Russia gains deterrent effect through uncertainty. Arms control negotiations shift in their favor when opponents must consider theoretical capabilities. International prestige gets maintained even during technological decline. The real threat isn't the MiG-41 itself, it's the effective use of information warfare to shape global defense spending and strategic planning. Russia has successfully created a sixth-generation fighter that exists entirely in the minds of their opponents. No material science breakthroughs required, no hypersonic engines needed, just skilled propaganda and strategic ambiguity. The MiG-41 might be the most successful Russian military program of the decade, precisely because it will never need to actually work. The MiG-41 represents a new kind of warfare, where perception becomes more valuable than reality. Russia has mastered the art of the Potemkin fighter, creating strategic advantages through weapons that exist only in announcements. What other revolutionary military programs might be following this same playbook? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Which country do you think has the most effective military propaganda strategy? If this analysis opened your eyes to how modern military deception really works, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon for notifications. Share this video with anyone who needs to understand the reality behind the headlines. The next video reveals another military wonder weapon that might surprise you even more.